welcome everybody. Episode 14, right? I think it's before 20. A lot of podcasts end up fizzling and burning. 13, we could say, is the hump that we have to get over. I just you missed some of the pre-recording session where Wayne was about to go ballistic on me. I said save it for the air.
He still is.
And when we do the live show in a few weeks, then people are going to really be able to see what happens. And we'll probably, start that before recording so they can see some of the on air, Ian, and welcome Wayne and Ian. And Ian,
It's a good thing we don't have a blooper reel, Leighton. It is a very good reason. There's a very good reason we don't send out our blooper reel.
Ian, while you were on your hiatus, we talked about maybe even streaming like a live episode on a Saturday night or something, or just a time where then people can watch it live. Then we take it down, then we kind of put it up on the website. Anyway, welcome everybody. Mid-August, August 14th already. Crazy. How's your summer going, Ian?
Going good. Yeah. Kids are going to be back in school next week. So
crazy.
Tell everybody where you were last week, Ian.
last week.
Yeah. Dave and I did a podcast. Where were you? Where were you?
Oh, yeah. No, I started teaching my class at UCLA. So I'll be out of commission for 10 Fridays. So we're doing this on a Wednesday. So
Yeah, well, we found a way to work around that. Yeah, I mean, look, man, people love you, and it's a good thing that we found a workaround.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into it, Wayne. Yeah.
What are we
You're
talking about
kind
today,
of
Wayne?
our research team. What's that?
I was just gonna say, Wayne, what are we talking about today?
Well, I am very excited, and I know I say this every week, and I truly am excited to talk about that week's topic. I really am. This one in particular. Normally, when I do the research and try to find out, what topic would be apropos, what we should be talking about, I don't pick the most searched. I don't, because I feel like every other podcast that does kind of what we do will be talking about that subject, and I don't want to be like everybody else. This week, though, the topic is reasons e-commerce business fail. And I noticed a through line all the way from 1 to 10. And so it's very fun to me. It all comes down to basically one thing. We could end this, pretty quick. If you guys want to wrap up in 15 minutes, I suggest we don't do that. But yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, for those of you that have had a failed business in e-commerce, why it failed most likely. And for those of you that are thinking about starting a e-commerce business, what to watch out for. What one thing is going to kill you more often? How's that?
That's a beautiful setup.
Sexy.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to actually start with number 2, and we'll go back to number 1.
Oh,
So number 2 on our list is multi-level marketing. And the reason I want to bring this up is I actually was in several multi-level marketings when I was a kid, and I was, dude, I was selling what was that called? I think it was W Brown. It was shoes, and then it was Forever Living products. I think that was aloe vera, and then I got into squalene, which is like a shark liver oil. Anything I could get my hands on when I was young, I would sell it. So I was able to make, some profits in multi-level, but all the hype of, quitting your job and buying some property on an island and all of that, and I never got to see that. And apparently neither did 99.999% the people who joined it. So I'd love to get your take, Wayne, Dave, on multi-level marketing. Let's break that down for a little bit here. Let's define what that means, and then let's go into the reasons why those typically fail.
Well, I always say, tell me that you're in your 20s without telling me you're in your 20s, because that is generally when people get the most experience with an MLM. Okay.
Right.
I tell a story. When I was in the military, spent 8 years in the Army. And when I came home from Germany, everybody and their brother was, and I went to East Texas. Okay. So a shout out to Conroe and Cut and Shoot, Texas. Everybody and their brother was emu. Okay. Everybody had 2 emu in their backyard, breeding pair, and emu eggs, and everything was about emus. Okay. And I'm like, dude, these are vicious birds, Ian. These birds are a couple 100 pounds. They're raptors. They're
Wow.
dinosaurs. Okay. They're vicious, and they eat a crap ton of feed. But
200 pounds.
everyone was sure that the USDA was going to make emu meat the next white meat. Okay, people were going to be eating it like they ate pork, until they weren't. Until the beef and pork and poultry people, got a hold of them and ripped them to shreds. And do you know where those emus are today? This is 40 years ago, 30 some years ago. Do you know where those emus are today? Roaming the forests of East Texas, whooping people. It is a problem in East Texas to this day, because people just released their emus to people. Now, all that to say this, earlier this week, I was in a multi-level marketing scheme. It's not really a business as far as I'm concerned, about crypto and AI. They lumped AI and crypto into one thing. I won't name it. It is going around. But I sat there the entire time. This guy's yelling, and they're exchanging edification with one another, telling one another how great they are and stuff. And all I could think about was emus. All I could think about was how in the world do you expect this is going to work? And the reason that they fail the most off is because of mathematics. You can't put enough people in your downline in order to maintain a business. If everybody joins up, Dragnet back in the day, they did a whole episode on multi-level marketing, and the end of that, if you've never seen it, is fantastic. But it's fantastic, but it's math. You don't know enough people. You can't meet enough people to shove underneath you to actually be profitable. And so there you go. David?
Look, I agree. I think we all got sucked into those, whether they were multi-level marketing. I mean, there's some that look like something like a prepaid legal that's now called what it's
That
called
Zoom?
now.
Zoom Legal?
No, not Zoom. No, Legal Zoom. It's not that.
Legal
It's
Zoom,
called Legal Shield, something Shield. Look, that's something you could use. There were like these Asahi drinks, vitamins. People have to invest,
One of
buy a
these-
bunch. What's
Well,
that?
there's clothing,
one of
there's
these,
Amway,
something juice. Yeah.
everything under the
Exactly.
sun can be put in one of these MLMs, dude.
Right. And then there was the infomercials that would then get people, right? Here, I'll bring back a blast from the past, because he played, poker up until, he probably still does, but if you all remember Tom
Oh my
Vu,
God, dude.
right?
Yeah.
He used to play, yeah, I think he's actually still around, but right, get rich
I
quick.
think my
blah,
first
blah,
wife was
blah.
in that picture.
Right, but but seriously, listen, it's the hype, it's a fast out, right? And people see that, and they bring them into these marketing meetings, and everybody's hyped, and they're playing off of each other. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but anybody that would stop for just a second, that has got to be the hardest way to make a buck, is to one by one convince someone that what you're doing is unique or special or whatever.
Yeah.
It just the math on it just doesn't make a bit of sense.
Right.
Is Amway still around?
Oh yeah.
Amway's around. What's the one with the
Melaleuca,
what about
Nutra.
the containers?
Forever Living, no?
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
No, right. It's what are the containers? Like the plastic containers. I think that was a multi-level marketing.
There was one that had women
Tupperware?
would get together and have do a sex toy
Tupperware.
party.
Tupperware parties, yeah.
Well, Tupperware wasn't a multi-level marketing
Was
thing.
it?
Was
I thought people would have like Tupperware.
They did, yeah, they did. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, right. But look, some things like that where it's useful, where not everybody you have to sell to has to become part of the team.
Yeah.
Right? You lose friends fast that way, I suspect.
So Wayne, going back to your main through line of marketing, does that apply too for multi-level?
Oh, sure. Yeah, because it's all marketing. It's all, the amount of people that you can get. Now, look, if you sold Amway in a store and you marketed Amway and you sold the products, that's one thing. Okay. But what I'm saying is with a multi-level marketing thing, I've got to recruit you, Ian, and then I've got to help you recruit people to continue on through my downline, right? And so it's the marketing aspect of it. It is a horrific way of marketing a product like that, or any product like that. I mean, imagine selling shoes that way. And there are multi-level marketing schemes where you sell shoes. It's math. It's basic math. Where if I sell, let's say I have a online clothing store, all I've got to do is have a really good pay-per-click ad campaign, and people will buy from me over and over and over and over again.
Totally.
So
okay. Yes. Anyway, I think we'd move past that, and now with technology, I think, look, yeah, that's a tough way to keep something sustainable for sure.
So, all right. So multi-level marketing, I think it's a great way to kind of see different types of businesses learn from it, right? And usually they have okay products, mostly overpriced because you have to get, the percentages that you have to share with your upline and whatnot.
Thing that multi-level marketing is good for is if you have a whole bunch of friends that you would like to see never talk to you again, that's the way to do it. If you would like to shed a large group of very friendly people to you, start multi-level marketing and invite all of those people.
They won't return your calls.
You will be radioactive very shortly.
So, all right. So that was our first one. That's great, great way to kick off this call. Second one is drop shipping. So, reason for failure, high competition, low profit margins. Um, Wayne, you were in drop shipping for, or still are, right? For
Still
about
are, yeah, still
5
am.
years?
Look, all of these things that, here, high competition, low profit
Yeah.
margin, dependent on suppliers, difficulty maintaining property quality or product quality. All of those things can be overcome with the proper marketing. You understand? Those are not problems that are they could destroy your business, but they can be overcome. The kryptonite to all of those problems is proper marketing.
How about the quality, the product quality?
Listen, people buy crap products all the time, Ian. If they're marketed, I mean, we all have bought crap product. What I'm saying to you is it doesn't mean that it's a good thing necessarily, but right now, there is a drop ship product that is sweeping across the country. It's absolutely going crazy. Okay. It is a small fan that people attach to their belt and they blow air up their shirt or wherever they plug it in, right? It's
Oh, wow.
mainly caught fire with construction workers and people that are in sports and, parents that have to go outside and watch their kid play soccer or whatever. Okay. Absolute. It is everywhere and it is being marketed by some very, very well. It's a very cheap product. Doesn't mean that it's a good product. Doesn't mean that it's even a good idea. None of it. But the marketing for that sucker is fantastic. And so a lot of them are being sold for $6 to $9 and people are making an absolute killing.
So let's explain drop shipping for those who aren't familiar with the term.
Sure. So a drop shipping store, you collect a catalog of products, none of which you warehouse yourself. So you are actually selling other people's products from multiple or one supplier. And that order comes through you, goes directly to your supplier, and they do the shipping. They drop ship the product directly to your customer. Now you may say, well, look, the minute that they get your customer, that now they've got the no, it's not the way that it works. There are contracts in place where if you're my supplier, you absolutely have to put my logo on everything. Most of the time you don't even know I'm a drop shipper. When the survival store, everybody that buys something from me on my survival store, they get a receipt with my logo on it. They get an invoice with my logo. You see what I mean? No one is the wiser. They have no idea that they didn't buy that from my survival store.
Got it. So and I think you mentioned this in a previous series wherein one of the myths of starting a business is that you need, large capital to start. And drop shipping is one of those things wherein you don't need to buy the raw materials.
Right.
You don't need to have the storage facility or
Matter of fact, it's better
making
if you
product.
don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Now, one of the things that a lot of drop shippers, especially during COVID, when that took place, that stopped shipping. Shipping was ground to a halt, and a lot of people suffered greatly because you just could not. You couldn't get products it shipped into the U.S. There was nobody at the port to bring the product in.
Right.
Containers, they're still trying to work through Long Beach, the port of Long Beach, trying to get through all those containers.
Yeah, remember Long Beach was so backed up for everything, including ventilators.
Yeah.
So yeah, that killed drop shipping for sure.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I want to share with you why I switched from Calm to MelodyClouds, and why you should too. I used Calm for a while, and it's a great app. But as someone who loves audiobooks and needs soothing sleep stories to wind down, I was looking for something that wouldn't break the bank. That's when I found MelodyClouds. With MelodyClouds, I get access to a vast library of audiobooks across all my favorite genres. Whether I'm in the mood for a gripping mystery or a heartwarming romance, MelodyClouds has me covered. And the sleep stories? They're magical. I drift off to sleep faster and wake up more refreshed. But here's the best part, the price. For just $5.99 a month, or $59.99 a year, I get all of this amazing content. That's nearly half of what I was paying for Calm. And trust me, the quality of the content is top-notch. I get everything I need to relax, focus, and sleep soundly without emptying my wallet. So, if you're like me and want premium relaxation and meditation content without the premium price, switch to MelodyClouds. You'll get all the content you love and more, for a price that can't be beat. Make the smart choice for your mind and your wallet. Try MelodyClouds today. For a limited time, try MelodyClouds at $2.99 for 60 days. If you love it, keep it for $5.99 a month. You can find us at melodyclouds.com.
So moving on, so we covered multi-level marketing, covered drop shipping.
Mhm.
Now we're gonna take a hard left turn here, something really different, blogging. So Dave, what have you been on the blogging scene?
Is blogging a word anymore, right? I think it's content marketing. Right. I mean, right, aren't those posts rather than
Weblogging, right?
blogging?
That's the where it came from.
Right. Well, right, but but I think that's evolved to posts. I think what we're saying here
Substack.
is, if you're just trying to do that and not leveraging, right, Substack, different tools to grow an audience, add payments, it's gonna be rough out there. There's just so much information. And now with AI, it's kind of put it on a whole different level.
Right.
Now, that said, there are some newsletter companies. One was just sold to Informa for 500 million. I'd sent that to Camille, who's going to be our guest coming up in a couple weeks. I'll get the name of the company, right? But just building B2B, content and newsletters, that was called Industry Dive. Yeah, but just a blog's a lonely place. I mean, Wayne, I'd like your insights on this, because maybe it's what
I can't wait
like.
for all the bloggers out there to hear what David Layton just said about what they do. And I mean, look, mommy bloggers, and look, maybe this would help. Put a V instead of a B, and you may have an argument that it went
Video
from
log,
blogging to vlogging. Maybe that's an argument. And maybe you would look at it from another point of view, and they're just another set of influencers, because you have a lot of very popular travel vlogs. You have a lot of very popular business blogs and vlogs. And see, some people don't have as camera ready face as me. You know what I mean? I obviously would need to go into the vlogging with a V area. Probably would have been a better idea for me to do the old blogging thing, now that I'm thinking about it. And most people do not, and here's where the through line is, because I know you're going to ask me this, Ian. I can see it in your face. Here's where the through line, the marketing part, comes in. Building an audience takes a long time if you don't know how to market your blog or vlog. Okay. There are a lot of very popular mommy vloggers and bloggers, and it took them, relatively, some it took no time at all because they got very popular very quickly, but that was marketing, something hit viral. And then some that was a slow burn, and it took years and years and years to gain that kind of traffic. So that, that's the through line, that marketing, being able to market your business, whether it is a drop shipping company, whether it is a multi-level scheme that you've cooked up with a couple buddies, or whether it's a interesting stream or blog or vlog.
One of the things that we mentioned here is the lack of focus, right? And inconsistent content creation. I really thank you guys for continuing on last week, because I think that that consistency of creating content really helps, and obviously the focus, right? Not having a focus, then you won't have the right audience. When people say, you know, I don't know what I'm doing is really not that exciting. I don't know if there are other people like me interested in this. Um, the example that I usually give is, I don't know if you guys actually know of this. They're called bronies. Have you heard of this?
Brony, yeah, sure. I know what a brony is. I am very ashamed to say that I know what a brony is, A, and B, the fact that you brought that up on this, my most sacred ground, this is very disturbing to me.
So
Well, you used to go to
bronies
all
is
those
legitimate.
brony conferences, didn't you,
I
Wayne?
was just going to say, didn't you and Dave go to a brony conference not too long
in
ago?
LA. So for those of you who
BronyCon?
don't know what this is, these are
You are not going to show a brony on this podcast. I
these are
forbid it.
grown men that are into My Little Ponies. So, so if you're thinking that your interest or your hobby or your field of specialization doesn't have a following, one word, bronies. So if it's not that far out, chances are you do have people of similar interests. Now, you need to focus on creating that niche, right? And having consistent content. And that's hard because it takes time, takes dedication, discipline. So to your point, Wayne, create the product and then market like hell.
David, I am stunned like a baby seal right now, because that is absolute genius what you just, and I'm going to clip this part of the conversation. I can guarantee you, and this episode will be called the Brony episode. Just for your example, you are listening, and you are 100% correct. So from now on, when I am trying to explain to people that there is a market for anything, there is an audience for anything, I am now going to substitute what I normally talk about with bronies.
There you go. There you go.
Amazing. Amazing what you just said. That's I'm stunned.
And let's clarify that was Ian that brought it up. And you
Yes.
said Dave. I
Yes.
just said Dave. I just
What?
listened.
No. I'm just saying, Dave. I was bringing you into the
Oh, you're saying
conversation.
it to me. I got you. Okay.
I am so proud of him right now.
He brought you
You're
in
right,
there with the
listen.
brony part.
If I could get if I could get crowds to the Witty conference like they do at Flat Earth Con, you know, I'd
Oh,
be
God.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of these
Call
there
'em
is a
crazy.
market for anything for sure.
But I will also say real quick, and Ian, you touched on this. That's why I'm doing a callback. When you're running a television show, right? 3.5 Men.
2.5 minutes.
2.5 Men, whatever it was, or a Seinfeld, or it shows how long ago it's been, or how long it's been since I've watched a television program. Love Island, how about that? Consistency is, I mean, if you did it one show and then waited 2 weeks and did another show, and you know what I mean, nothing would ever be popular. You cannot get popular that way. Big Brother is twice a week, you know, or 3 times a week, whatever it is. In order to make that interesting to people, you have to show that level of commitment and level of consistency.
Kardashians.
So for anything that you're doing, so you absolutely are correct when it comes to that. You have to show that, and that is making agreement with your audience that you're going to be consistent with whatever it is you're doing. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep. All right.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core. Experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with workforce innovation, trust, and influence. Visit Witty.com and become a member today.
So moving on from bronies, affiliate marketing. So Wayne, explain this again for folks who aren't familiar or missed our last episode about affiliate marketing.
See, we do this. And so let's say, for example, our AI, and I'll put the AI, the commercial for the AI, Tools Essential AI, right? So I built a website, had a website built, and we have 200 tools, and those tools, I bring an audience to those tools. Each one of those tools are built by someone else. We get a piece every time someone from this show goes to that and subscribes to that AI tool. That's an example, okay, of affiliate marketing. Let's say that David, he created a course, 12-part course on e-commerce. And David comes to me and says, hey, Wayne, you and Ian, I need you to go to your network and publicize. I want you to market to your network my show. And you and I, because we're smart, we go, all right, Dave, what's good on the back end? And we get 20% of that on the back end of that, right? It's not our product, but by endorsing that product, by selling that product for Dave, he gets more buyers, and you and I make a piece on the back end. That's an affiliate marketing.
Got it. So why would it fail?
You got a bunch of affiliates that don't market your product. You go with the wrong people, and no one ever hears about this great, 12-part series that Dave did on how to get Instagram followers or whatever it was. That's how. Imagine if it was a bookstore. I wrote a book, and I bring it to you guys' bookstore. If you put it in the back and you don't tell anybody that you're carrying my book, how many books am I going to sell?
None. Exactly.
None from your store.
Or it could also be that you're affiliating with a group that is maybe not antagonistic, but it's different, right? Like from the audience that you're trying to target. So some affiliations might seem like there's a lot of overlap, but maybe the followers for each group is not similar or don't share.
100% something that you have to really think about when you do affiliate marketing is you cannot just go willy-nilly, right? And give you an example. One of David Layton's interests is poker. If he did a book on making cheesecakes, what's the affinity between poker and cheesecakes? That probably would not be a great affiliate for him to go and try and sell books on cheesecakes, right?
Yeah, that Venn diagram
does not match as well. Now, I will tell you this, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I always tell you. You do the research. You find out whether it does. I'll give you an example of this. We guys, a men's group, Odyssey, okay? And not long ago, I was researching groups to market this men's group to. And any man is welcome, right? And someone suggested to me, hey, why don't you talk to these women, this group of women? And I went, wait, what part of men's group do you not understand? And they said, yeah, but you need to do your research, because most often women buy gifts like this for the man in their life. So ladies, if there's, I know that there's women watching this, if you want to do something really good for the man in your life and really help him with the change that you think he needs to, and there isn't a woman alive that doesn't think their man needs to change, I would suggest to you that buying him a membership in Odyssey would be the way to go. And that is absolutely a brilliant thought that was presented to me, and we're now working that into our marketing.
100%, 100%. Dave, any thoughts before we move on?
I would just say that, look, as we, it's not just choose affiliates and let them do their thing. You have to constantly push, educate,
Right.
create products. And that's where, like you're saying, Wayne, I think they can, fizzle out. And it's really not on them. If your competitor or people are just trying to get their attention, is staying on top of them, giving new graphics to post, blah, blah, blah. That's where people lose momentum for sure. So, yeah, that's more up Wayne's alley. So I think we can continue.
Oh, I disagree, David Layton.
No,
I
no,
disagree.
I'm saying
think that
just
you
know that space better than me. That's what I'm saying.
Again, I would have to argue. I have never in my 57 years of life on this planet met someone who knows or who will remind or push or, I mean, every single conversation with David Layton is, did you do this? Did you do that? And to me, I mean, I've had many conversations in the last couple months with people going, I need to introduce you to my friend David Layton to teach you how to ABC, always be selling, always be, pushing on that. There isn't a conversation you can have with David where he is not wondering or not suggesting or not pushing you to help his business grow. And it is fascinating to me.
Always be selling.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about.
Hold on a second, Ian. Hold on a second.
Sure.
My friend David Layton thinks I took a cheap shot at him. I can see the look on your face. That is not a cheap shot. I 100% mean that in earnest.
Okay.
David.
Listen, I'm reacting to what all the fans are grabbing their pearls right now. They kept. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, let's move on.
Maybe I'm not as impressed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
All good.
You push. Okay. I'm gonna be in trouble.
Moving on, real estate flipping. So, man, remember prior to COVID, it seemed like everyone, I think HGTV was the start of all this. Everyone got into do it yourself. Everyone got into let me buy, all the equipment from Home Depot and start repairing this, that, the other. And oh, by the way, let's go into buying fixer uppers and start flipping, right? Like it was prior to COVID, that 10, 15 years, everyone was into flipping real estate. And I cannot put hammer to nail. So I wasn't into that, but not because I wasn't interested. It's just not my skill set. But before we go into how, reasons for failure, how's that market doing now?
It's still insanely popular. Depends on where you are in the country. Really doesn't even depend on where you are in the country, to be honest with you. It's true that stocks are a little bit low in some places. Doesn't mean that people aren't rehabbing properties. I mean, look, the housing shortage is a real thing. And I didn't mean to jump in ahead of you, Dave. The whole time Ian was talking, I was thinking to myself, hey, look, man, this is still a very, very viable and very, very popular thing to do. And you're right. When the economy is better, it is even better than it is right now. So right now we have a very tightened money supply, very tightened inventory, and a very tight. So all of these play a part in it. But again, back to the through line, marketing. Okay. It becomes way more important now when all of those things I mentioned are tightened. because you really got to tighten up on your marketing in order to get the very best price that you can. And marketing home in a way that people are going to desire it and want it and are ready to push through all of the crap that they're having to push through just to get the financing for it. So it makes it even more important, not less important.
If your business operations feel like a grind, you're missing out on the magic of artificial intelligence. Whether you're in retail, manufacturing, finance, or any other industry, AI is a game changer. From automating mundane tasks to optimizing your supply chain, AI can transform how you operate. We specialize in creating tailored AI solutions that meet your unique challenges and goals. With our expertise, you can improve efficiency, reduce errors, and make better decisions. Discover how AI can revolutionize your business. Contact us today at www.toolessentials.ai/consultation.
Totally. Yeah, and look, I think that yeah, my cousin bought a small place in Brooklyn, maybe it's in the Bronx, kind of right after COVID happened, and things slowed down, but now he's made a lot of money on that. And they can't make more land, right? I mean, it's interesting because, you know, virtual work in some other areas, places like Iowa, Idaho, there's not viable markets. I mean, Kentucky seems to be exploding, but yeah, I think you know, flipping
Tennessee,
and looking for short-term cash, yeah, is can be
in the next few years, the middle of America is going to experience growth that the two edges of the United States could only ever dream of. There are a lot of AI data centers that are going in the middle of the country. So that's going to require people to build the power infrastructure. It's going to require people to construct those data centers, to man those data centers, to plan those data centers. And when you have that amount of those type jobs, then all the ancillary things that you need to keep up those things are also there. So places like Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, places where they've already identified these data centers to go, guess what? Get ready, because the houses, you know, construction, that's where that's going to go. Populations are going to boom there, and you're going to start to see a demographic shift very, very quickly over the next 3 to 7 years.
Absolutely.
I agree. And not only that, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and when you're looking at the infrastructure that's needed for all of the AI and quantum computing that's coming up, a lot of the companies are looking outside of the US for the server farms that can help sustain the future needs. Because if you think about it, like even right now, I have Apple Watch, I have the Aura Ring. I'm generating massive amounts of data. It's right now, it's just with me and with, you know, the companies. But eventually my doctor will be able to consume all of this data. So when that happens, we need the infrastructure to support it. And you're right, Wayne, everyone's going to either the Midwest or even outside of the country. So
Well, there's a very simple explanation for why that is. And the reason is because there's land in the middle of America that you can purchase on relatively cheaply. And you're right, it isn't just about the data center. Data centers need electricity. So now you've got to build a power plant. And you've got to employ the people to run the power plant, because everything that you just mentioned requires one thing, and that is electricity. And now our government sees fit to force people into electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are great, but look, where's the power going to come from? Well, we've got to start building, you know, bigger power plants. One of those data centers, you got to get into this, because one of those data centers is like powering a mid-sized city.
Yep. And we're not even talking about crypto.
Right. No. We're talking about AI. And I'm talking about like a machine learning at a very small scale. And you're talking about, and then you add on top of that, we all have a friend that wanted to change all of his vehicles in his company, 130 vehicles, over to electric vehicle. He wanted to do that in California. And the people that were responsible for permitting that called him screaming, are you ridiculous? That's ridiculous. What you're asking for is to power Huntington Beach. You want the draw of Huntington Beach for your one company, and laughed him out of there. People don't understand how much power it takes to operate a fleet of electric vehicles.
Absolutely. And you can only, for right now, you can only pull so much from solar. And obviously, you don't have it at night, so there's that. But yeah, I really think that looking at where people are going in terms of not just residential, but also commercial real estate is the way to help prevent failure in your flipping venture.
Well,
Now,
real quick, I will tell you, hold on, real quick.
sure,
I
go
will
ahead.
tell you, if you own a home in California, a residence, private residence, and you do not make use of solar energy, then you are a fool. You're absolutely fool. That is where solar energy really shines. The last house Tracy and I
Unattended.
sold had 38 panels on the roof. We powered our house and enough for a solar vehicle. I mean, a electric vehicle. It would have been a solar vehicle. Okay. And when I did that, the people that sold me the panels asked me, why do you want so many panels on this house? And I said, because I'd like to take it off the grid. I'd like to know that I was able to make this house self-sufficient from all of the other houses on the block in case of emergency, or just because I want to run the air 24/7. I like a comfortable house. The funny
Absolutely.
story, the people that bought that house from me, she found me, came to my new address and gave me a big hug. She's like, we absolutely adore you. Thank you so much for doing this for us. She's like, we leave the air on 24 hours a day and we never get a solar. I mean, we never get an electric bill.
Yeah, especially now, if you don't consume as much as you generate, it goes back and you get credits and whatnot for
Yeah.
Edison. Absolutely. Cool. So the next one is what my teenage daughters would want to do, and that is social media influencing. And I know that, like with everything else, there are a handful of people that are killing it and making the most revenue. I think if you put this on the graph, maybe the top 100 people are making 90+% of all the money in social media influencing. But if you were to give advice, Wayne, to someone that's new to this or want to get into it, what advice would you give to start out?
Promote your channel. I mean, we have shown with our,
Our
little,
channel right here,
yeah, our little blog, we're almost at 3,000. Probably this
Our-
week we'll go
our
over
mommy blog.
3,000 subscribers. And I know that our watchers or listeners, probably get tired of us talking about it, but you can do that with very little money. I spend $20 a week in promotion of this channel, and God knows what would happen if I spent more than that. So spending $80 a month in promoting your channel and letting YouTube tell people what you are doing just seems like a very prudent thing to do. Now, you don't have to do that. You can let it go, make a viral video if you know how to do that, or you can, talk about things and use SEO to gradually over time grow an audience. But it just doesn't seem like a very prudent or very a smart thing to do when you can actually grow exponentially very, 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 very quickly.
Absolutely. And I think that like with the episodes that we've created, we have a lot of repeat customers because they know what we're talking about. I'm sure no one expected bronies, but
We're going to get a whole new group of people.
yeah, I'll
Cosplay.
read the comments. But there's a through line, to use your verbiage, Wayne, of what we're talking about. And if this is something you're interested in, then this is the flavor you're gonna get week over week. So Yeah, it's very important to market and be disciplined. That's another thing I've noticed. All of the areas where there's failure involves the lack of discipline, sticking to your craft, sticking to what you're doing, and building that audience, that market for you.
Yeah, but
And
here's the thing, Ian. There
yeah,
are a lot of very dedicated, I mean, there are channels with 3 times the content of this one
right, right.
and less than a third of our audience.
True, true.
Okay. Hard work and dedication, of course, we do. There's a lot of hard work that goes into this, and we're all the 3 of us are dedicated on bringing the very best podcast we absolutely can to people.
Right.
But all of that is lost if no one will watch it and no one will like, subscribe
Correct.
to this channel and comment. Give us your comments. We have been very blessed with the great comments that people post, the amount of people that like us, and it's increasing, you know. So we're definitely finding our audience. But look, everyone that watches this, and by the way, we don't tell people like, subscribe, and comments every episode. That, you know, we assume that our audience knows that we want to hear from them, and that's the thing to do when you're watching us on YouTube, is to comment on our channel.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core. Experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with workforce innovation, trust, and influence. Visit Witty.com and become a member today.
Right.
Right, Dave?
1000%, right? So I think it's authentic, natural content. You know, being an influencer, you know, again, there's many people, your buddy Mr. Beast, right, who got up, and now many people see it, aspire to be that. But, you know, again, these aren't kind of quick fixes. Or, you know, we've heard about people dying by crashing their airplane and trying to go viral, and easy way to have a fail.
Yeah, there is a right way and a wrong way to do this. And that knucklehead that bailed out of his plane in order to have a viral video, I don't think he expected what happened to have happened. And by the way, he's a licensed pilot again, in case you were wondering. So
Wow.
you imagine that.
Yeah, I see these videos of people like climbing to the edges of mountains or outside of buildings to just get the perfect shot, and you know, some of them fail. So yeah, be
Did go
doing
viral.
things for the right
Hey,
reason.
one of my favorite channels is Sickos. If you have never watched it, these kids, man, I wish I was, you know, 20 years, 30 years younger. I would be traveling around with these knuckleheads. Shout out to Sickos. I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. But every week they do another really cool video. And another thing that my daughter and I like watching is Dodds. Have you guys ever heard of that? Dodds, death diving. It comes from Norway, Norwegian death diving. They dive into the pool from a high platform. And the way that they do it is, you got to look for it. I'll put a link in the description. It is amazing, and it's becoming extraordinarily popular right now. But yeah, what you said, I mean, I happened to find it, And it is fascinating to me. And oh, I wish I were not 57 and I was, 27. And that's what I'd be doing.
Well, Wayne, you have the energy of a 27-year-old, so I think if you want to do it, you can. If anyone can pull it off at 57, it'd be
And
you.
I'm telling you, they did a couple weeks ago. The sickos were in Colorado and they did horseback, had let a horse pull them through a slalom ski thing. And I forget what it's called, but it was absolutely incredible what they this town basically shuts down and they pull a snow skier behind a horse like you were water skiing or something, and they have to grab rings and they have to jump, make these jumps, and it was so much fun to watch. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do that. It was so much fun to watch them do that.
Nice. I will definitely check it out. Have you seen this one, Dave? Sickos?
I haven't seen it yet, but I plan to watch it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Definitely check it out. All right. Well, talking about not having a focus, freelancing without a niche. Right?
That's segue. Wow, that was some high level karate right there. Freelancing without a niche. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, Dave and I talked about this. Ian, you weren't with us, but Dave and I talked about this. There's a term for this. Dave, what's the term for this?
Market to all, market to none.
Yes, but you said jack of all trades, master of none. And I agree with that. That's basically what we're talking about freelancing. You can't be an expert in everything. No one likes a know-it-all. So find something where you can have a line or have your foot in a number of different things. But I'll give you an example of this. Ian, your wife is a dentist or orthodontist?
Dentist, yeah.
Dentist. Okay. So we were talking before about SEO for her practice, right?
Absolutely.
And the way that and people come to me with that all the time. I mean, different dealerships, different dentists, orthodontists, whatever. And I always tell them, what's that?
Chiropractors.
Yeah, not so much chiropractors because they are a specialty, but with a dentist, you can say, hey, there's some dentists that love to do a root canal. It takes a little bit of time. They're not real good with pulling teeth. They don't like to do that. You know what I mean? They like the time that they take. They're very good at their job. They like saving people, right? Mm-hmm. And so they model their SEO to get more customers that need root canals. Some dentists want you to sit in the chair, 4 minutes of teeth whitening, boom, you're out. Cleaning, whitening, get out of here. And I'm going to make money on the turnover. So it's all in the preference here. And that's what we're talking about. If your niche is writing resumes, okay, it would probably behoove you to stick to that niche and even do a sub niche where you write construction resumes or you write legal. You're in the legal milieu, okay? That my specialty is in logistics and finding people jobs and writing resumes for logistics. You're going to make far more money because you specialize in something, and I can now trust you. You found hundreds of people jobs in that specialty. That's who I'm going to.
Feeling isolated and disconnected? You're not alone. Many men struggle to find a community that truly understands them. Introducing Odyssey, a place where fellowship and brotherhood thrive. Join us on a journey of personal growth and meaningful connections. At Odyssey, we believe in the power of brotherhood. Our community fosters brotherly connections that last a lifetime. We come together to serve our communities and make a difference. Hear from those who have transformed their lives with Odyssey. Odyssey gave me the brotherhood I was missing. I found other business leaders and entrepreneurs who share my values. Together, we make a real impact in our community. Odyssey is more than a group, it's a brotherhood. Join us and discover the power of true fellowship. Take the first step towards a more connected and fulfilling life. Odyssey, where fellowship, business, and brotherhood unite. For more information, go to yte.com.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Dave?
No, I agree. My job search strategy session every week. And then, it's right. People are looking for jobs. Oh, I'm interested in anything. No, hyper focus in on what you're looking for. Target.
Yeah, we talked about that before. There's
Right,
some
I mean,
people that just
yeah.
blast out a resume and they get
Right. And now there's
requests
these
for-
AI stuff.
well, they get requests for interviews for all kinds of even jobs that they know nothing about and would be horrific to do for them. And yet they feel compelled to go and do the interview and waste everybody's time and all of that. Sorry, I didn't mean to walk over you, Dave, but
No. My internet skipped, but you're right. I mean, I think, there's an AI tool somebody told me about. Oh, it'll send out, 500 resumes in, 30 seconds or apply to 500 jobs. Maybe I might buy 500 lottery tickets and become a billionaire.
yeah, that is not a good use of AI, dude.
The chances are you won't. And that's what's happening. And that's why things are just getting so clogged up.
Yeah.
So just, if everybody kind of applies that mindset to what they're working on, just think, you got to think one step ahead for sure.
Yeah, I'm in the healthcare industry, and this is very pronounced in my field, because you wouldn't just go to any doctor if you needed surgery, you would go to a surgeon. But even then, you won't just go to any surgeon. You would go, for example, to a hand surgeon if that's what you need, right? So the more specialized you get, the higher the payment, and obviously the more focused your clientele will be. And I tell my kids, be a teacher in one thing, be a student in everything else. Like, find something that you really want to be good at and focus on that. And for everything else, learn from other people. So it's really important to know. And it's funny, on LinkedIn, I'm considered a LinkedIn mentor. So I get a lot of emails from students from all over the world asking about, hey, I'm finishing up my master's, should I do my PhD? Or I'm thinking about getting into healthcare, what should I do? And the question that I always ask them is, if money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing right now? And 9 out of 10 would say, huh, never thought about that. And then the answer would be, once they, think through it for a little bit, more often than not, something 180 from what they're trying to get into. So I said, let me get this straight. You would rather do X, yet you would want to spend 250,000 to specialize in Y. Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Right? Because there is a need for that which you're passionate about. Going back to brownies. So there's something that you're good at, right? That someone needs. There's this quote from Rumi that goes, that which you're seeking is also seeking you. So be true to that which you're very interested in, and the people that are needing that service will think you're a god because you've solved their problem and you're happy to do it. You would do it even if you weren't getting paid. And
Right.
you see people like that, right? Like when I take my bike to the bike shop, the guy that fixes it up, man, he's more excited about my bike than I am.
Yeah.
And it's just a breath of fresh air, right? When you meet people like that that are really into what they're doing. So yeah, but to do that, you need to really want what you're doing, and to do that, you need to focus.
Well,
Because
every single person on the planet has had a teacher that really watched the clock
right,
and did not want to be there at the age group they were teaching, or the subject matter, whatever it was.
right,
Every one of us I've had many like that.
right.
I think that they should be drummed out of schools. you don't really want to be there, you know, you have no business doing that particular job. Or like you said, you know, can you imagine you bring your dog, your beloved family dog, to a kennel to be trained or to be groomed, and the whole time the groomer or the trainer is cussing your pup, and you're very upset that he has to be there to, you know what I mean? And your dog didn't do anything to this knucklehead.
Right. And conversely, all of us can go back and remember a name of a teacher that influenced us, that pulled us up, that inspired us. We've all had that teacher, right? That just was meant for the job, and we still carry their lessons with us. So I think that really focusing on your niche, what you're good at, is not just a benefit economically, but also it'll keep you in the game longer. All
Yeah,
right.
as long as you market yourself correctly and you find an audience for whatever it is you're doing, 100%, you're right.
Um, Another thing I'd like to add for freelancing, and this is something I'm guilty of as well. Just because your current customer doesn't need your services anymore, doesn't mean that you need to cut ties, or even worse, not ask for a referral, right? They might not have anything for you at this moment, but ask them, hey, do you mind introducing me to your peers, your colleagues, anyone that you know? You've known my services, you've seen what I can do. You'd be the perfect person to endorse me to someone who might need these services. So don't miss out on an amazing firsthand endorsement once you get freelancing clients of
Of
your own.
course, after you've asked the question, what are the circumstances that you no longer need my services? Because
Right.
it might be temporary, but you
Exactly.
definitely need to know what caused them to no longer need your services anymore. That would be, you know, I mean, when you said that, I'm like, my ears started itching. I'm like, man, I got to find out, is this going to be, and by the way, when you have someone that comes to you and says that they're not going to use your services anymore, and you found out that reason, now you've got that bit of information, and now you can find lookalike audience, companies or individuals that are just like the one that is turning you down right now.
Right.
You know who those you know, if you know who your customer is, you can recreate that thing, that person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we call it personas in the biz, the people that you're trying to target. All right. The next one, subscription box services. So are these Wayne, explain to folks what subscription box services are.
Okay, so
Myself included.
we had a proliferation of all of these, the man box, the mom box, all of these different and subscription box services really is it's not just the subscription box service, right? You have a music lover, or you have a jam lover, or all of those, the sausage at the holidays where you got the jam of the month, or the
Oh, got it.
sausage
Got
of the
it. Got
month,
it.
right? Or the guy in your life, and they would send them all these different trinkets, and it's a subscription service. So the reason I put that there is to say this: any subscription service falls under this. And again, customer acquisition costs that get high, logistics and fulfillment. If we go through another, pandemic like we did before, getting all of the things to put that box together becomes increasingly difficult, right? Customer retention issues, because look, with a lot of things, people get tired. They get, especially because a lot of people have a real hard time not charging the bejesus out of each of their customers. MelodyClouds, we learned very, very quickly that we have a $2.99 for the first 60 days. That's for you to try us out, find out, hey, did this work for you? At the end of that 60 days, it goes to $5.99. We barely kiss you a little bit on the ear, right? You don't even know that we're there. And my retention rate is 99.7%.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. That is unheard of. And the reason for that is we provide a great service that no one can beat our price, and people love us. And I didn't try to charge the bejesus out of people. And most of the email that I receive, and I get email every day, most of the email I receive is, you couldn't pry this out of my dead hand. There's no way you're getting the, they contact me to ask me how my health is. They don't call me cussing because they don't want to be they want to be a member of my subscription anymore.
And you're
Rediscover
adding,
peace and balance in your daily life with MelodyClouds, your ultimate companion for self-care and restful sleep. Imagine calming your nerves, easing daily tension, and waking up refreshed after a peaceful night's sleep. MelodyClouds is designed with you in mind, offering a vast collection of audiobooks, sleep music, and guided meditations to lead a healthier, more joyful life. Whether you're new to meditation or experienced, our guided sessions fit seamlessly into your busy schedule, helping you reduce stress and focus on your well-being. At less than half what other brands charge, we have taken the stress out of paying for stress relief. MelodyClouds is $2.99 for the first 2 months. You can continue monthly for $5.99 for as long as you like. That means you can try MelodyClouds for 60 days for less than the cost of 1 month of the other services. Join the millions of women who have embraced mindfulness and experienced transformative benefits. Our soothing melodies and ambient sounds are perfect for achieving a meditative state or gently drifting off to sleep. Listening to our sleep music before bed is a proven way to enhance your rest and rejuvenation. Explore over 18,000 original audiobooks narrated by industry favorites like Charles Dickens, Dante, Joseph Conrad, Oscar Wilde, and finally say goodbye to restless nights. Start your day with a moment of meditation and let MelodyClouds help you prioritize your health and happiness. Take a deep breath and discover your recipe for a balanced mood and emotional well-being. With MelodyClouds, peace and balance are just a tap away. Download today and transform your nights into restful slumbers and your days into serene reflections. Go to www.melodyclouds.com and begin your $2.99 60-day trial. This limited time offer will end soon.
and you're adding new content all the time. So it's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
become tougher because we buy the content. We're not, we're not licensing any content, Ian. So we make the content that goes on that platform. And as a matter of fact, Google Play, for people that are looking for it right now, in the next 24 hours, we should be back up on Google Play. Google, in their infinite wisdom, decided that just arbitrarily to remove us from the Play Store.
Oh,
So, now I had to go and fulfill that, but we'll be back up within the next 24 hours. So
nice. All right.
those are trying things. Now, the remedy for that is marketing and finding more customers to replace that money that I missed somewhere. Or
Right.
music, the cost of music for some reason gets higher.
And I haven't looked around, but did you have audiobooks that were in the public domain, right?
17,000, 18,000 audiobooks on there, some in the public domain, some are not. And we're about to add 8,000 episodes of old time radio that were in the public domain, but people have a hard time accessing them.
Right.
So we cataloged them and made them easy. That's actually 3 months ago they should have been added to MelodyClouds. But it's a hard thing to do, to catalog and to put things in order and make them show up on your app. Who would have thought to make them show up on your app in order and in the correct way? Those APIs are a son of a gun to write.
Not easy for sure.
It's not easy.
Well, talking about audiobooks, ebook publishing. So pretty much people who are into books have either written a book of their own or writing a book, And some have even gone as far as creating their own ebook publishing. But this is a hard business to crack. And Wayne, you've written 2 books, right? 2 or 3 books?
Six.
I could be wrong.
6 books. Thanks for
6 books.
asking.
Oh, wow.
And by the way, David has it right with he's got a subscription service to Witty. They've been around for 35 years, man. There's a ton that I learned from David Layton on a weekly basis about running a subscription type service.
You're on mute.
You got to hit people at the right time, right? Because I think, one of our newer members that I had met today on our orientation we have every Wednesday, she said 39 years she worked at one of the big labs. She's like, I've been following Witty for a long time. She's like, you guys put up this well-being session, I finally joined. Right. So having different, leadership, the technology stuff, but even like this somatic healing event we have now, that's what got her to join. She's semi-retired, still involved in other communities, but she said that's what she likes about Witty. Not only do we still have all the, stuff for women with the Forged Women's Group, now we have a men's group also. And it's all about just, different people coming together to innovate.
Absolutely. So, all right.
I'll tell you a funny story about publishing, ebook
Go for it.
publishing. All right. So many years ago, I wrote my first book, which was called Credit 101. And the reason that I wrote that book was not because I was an expert in credit, but because I had loan officers. I was in the mortgage industry. I had loan officers that did not know how to read a credit report. And so I wrote a book about it to help them learn how to read a credit report. And then I got the brilliant idea of going with a publisher, a vanity publisher, and I gave them $10,000 to publish my book, because who doesn't want to be a published author? Well, $10,000 later, how much do you think I made on that book? David? Ian?
$45.
100?
Ian? I didn't make anything. I made no money on that book. I lost, and I can't say this too loud, I lost $10,000 of my money writing that book. A couple years later, not a couple years, not long after that, I wrote another book. And that book was called Mortgage 101, because now I had loan officers that could read a credit report. They started putting everyone into the same exact loan. And anybody with half a brain knows that an 80-year-old woman refinancing her house does not need a 30-year fixed mortgage, right? I think we could all agree on that. And there are other loan things that she could do to make her life better. Okay. Well, guess what? I spent $8,000, went with the same publisher. How much do you guys think I made the second time around? None. I made no money. I'm down $18,000. I made no money. And the reason for that is because no one knew, and probably to this day, still no one knows, I wrote those 2 books. Third book comes around.
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
Where did the 18,000 go?
In publishing the book. I have stacks. I had boxes of books. I had it costs it for editor. It costs for someone to do the cover. It costs to have the books made.
Got it.
So to get someone to put their publishing name on it, Ian, cost me, I think that was $4,200 to Vanity Publishing, and this is several years ago. Now, I wrote my third book because your boy's not that bright. I wrote my third book, and I called that book "When Bad Credit Happens to Good People," because I had decided that the reason that Credit 101 had failed was because it was written of the perspective of teaching a loan officer instead of let me teach everyone in the country about their credit and how to have better credit. Okay? There were nights that I came downstairs with my lovely wife to $35,000 that wasn't there the day before. And many, many nights to $40,000 that I made in a week, and I put it on the KDP program on Amazon book publishing. Cost me zero money to publish that book. It was an ebook back when people said, "Nah, ebooks will never work." Guess what? Screw you. That book made back all of the money I ever spent on writing books. So that $18,000 was the cheapest education your boy ever received. I learned how to do it. And what I would tell you, if your idea is, I'm going to write a book, I got one better for you. You can write a book, put a cover on it, and nothing on the pages. You can sell blank books and make a crap ton of money on the KDP, on the Amazon publishing, okay? And the KDP program, guess what, you guys? I make more money when someone borrows my book than I make from someone buying my book. And if you have a Prime account, you can go into Amazon and you can borrow books. The author gets $5 every time you do that. I think it's a little bit more now. Gets that money every time you do that. And now I go on the weekends, and sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Most of the time it's much less because I'm no longer really publicizing when bad credit happens to good people. But if being an author is what you want to do, that is the way to do it. Not going through Penguin, not going through Premier or Cooper. I formed Bald Spot Publishing, obvious reason why, and I'm my own publisher. I get to decide what gets published and what doesn't get published, and putting that money that you would spend into the marketing of your book goes a long way. And I'll leave you with one other thought. So while I was doing all of this, and this is what sold me, this is what made me understand that it's about the marketing, it's about reaching your audience. I ran across a genre, and you guys can check my work here. I ran across a genre of books in Amazon about women fantasizing about being Bigfoot's love slave. and it's erotica, Bigfoot erotica. And there are thousands of titles, by the way. So I'll raise your brony with a Bigfoot love slave. So if you think your idea is dumb, if you think your idea won't sell, Ian Slade and Wayne Altman will tell you Bigfoot love slave sells. Bronies is $1 billion a year industry. You need to get off your butt and go do and follow your dream. Yeah.
Yo, even if it's following Bigfoot, there's a following.
I will never forget that. I started laughing. Tracy came downstairs. We had little tiny kids at the time. And she's like, what are you laughing about? She just thought it was a cat video or something, you know? And I said, this woman wrote a book called I Was Bigfoot's Love Slave. I bought a copy. It was $2.50. I had to know the story of her being Bigfoot's love slave. And it was worth every dime.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome. So,
now that's a clip, you guys.
that is truly a clip. So talking about handmade craft being Bigfoot slave. Let's turn to the world of Etsy and products that, you know, some people have been very successful at, and some have failed at, a lot more have failed at, I should say. And that is the world of handmade craft sales. And to no surprise to the audience at this point, it could be that the quality is really good. It could be that it's amazing craftsmanship, but if you make handmade materials, crafts in the forest and no one hears about it, was it even made? It all boils down to marketing. So Wayne, if any of our listeners are thinking about making, I don't know, handmade pillowcases and they want to sell this, what advice would you give?
Well, listen, I want to hear what David Layton thinks about this, but I will tell you right now, off the top of my head, my father-in-law makes handmade guitars from cigar boxes.
From
And
cigar? What?
From cigar boxes. I'll have to show one to you. It's there. As a matter of fact, I'll put his link in the description and he'll be pissed that I did it. So just because I love Rich Briggs, I love you, but I have to do this to you, buddy. We had this conversation the other day at my daughter's volleyball game, and I asked him, I said, hey, Rich, how's the cigar box guitar thing going? And he goes, terrible. And I'm like, what is your problem? He's like, I can't make them fast enough to sell. And, you know, I don't have enough time and I don't have enough, you know, so he can't create them fast enough.
Wow.
And I said, well,
demand is stronger than supply.
yes. And I said that that's the easiest problem you could possibly have to fix.
Right.
And because his marketing is on point. These people know about him. He goes to these swap meets. And I'm like, hey, look, I mean, I don't want to come off as the, you know, smart ass son-in-law, but raise your price. Raise your price. They're telling you right now that you need to sell these for more than what you're getting. They're flying off the shelves too fast. So incrementally, $5, $10, $20 at a time, raise your price until you're bringing home more than you made the week before. And then that's your price. And then you can go right back to growing your business a little bit and putting more money in your pocket. And he sat there for whole game, sat there just stewing on that. Like, you know, and I'm very curious the next time I see him, if he's going to take that advice. If he's going to think, hey, you know what? He may be bald. He may be fat. He may be dumb in every other aspect, but maybe he has a point on this. David, what do you think? Not about the fat, bald thing. Okay. I want to know, do you think I have a point?
I think you do. Look, I think you have a point. I think that I was listening to an interview with the CEO of Etsy the other day, right? That's where people do make handcrafted things, like the market had slowed down. Now there's a lot of opportunity. You have to be able to fulfill your orders or just raise the price. I agree with that and find out when it slows down. You know, if we think our friend who you've been wanting to do the t-shirts for, he keeps wanting to find something that's outside of the normal. He could have had things up months ago, but it's like, you know, anyway, that's certainly
Shout out to Human who wants to sell a T-shirt that a very narrow market is going to be really want to wear that. But hey,
right.
look, man, everybody has their thing. I'm 100% behind that. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
really appreciate what he's doing for the planet. He's a heroic as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, but you're right.
Yeah, just get it. Like I read that email, that LinkedIn post from Mark Randolph last week. Be in action, right? We told the story of Netflix, how that started. What did they do? Did they go raise millions of dollars? No, they took a $2 CD-ROM, mailed it to someone's house. That was the test.
It's a
Just
true
do it.
story, by the way, Dave. Do you know I went and did the research on that?
Oh,
On
no,
his
I
way home
know.
from work, went
Right.
to Staples, bought a thing of CDs, and from Staples mailed a CD and a mailer to himself just to see if it would arrive unmolested. And it
Feeling
worked.
isolated and disconnected? You're not alone. Many men struggle to find a community that truly understands them. Introducing Odyssey, a place where fellowship and brotherhood thrive. Join us on a journey of personal growth and meaningful connections. At Odyssey, we believe in the power of brotherhood. Our community fosters brotherly connections that last a lifetime. We come together to serve our communities and make a difference. Hear from those who have transformed their lives with Odyssey. Odyssey gave me the brotherhood I was missing. I found other business leaders and entrepreneurs who share my values. Together, we make a real impact in our community. Odyssey is more than a group, it's a brotherhood. Join us and discover the power of true fellowship. Take the first step towards a more connected and fulfilling life. Odyssey, where fellowship, business, and brotherhood unite. For more information, go to yte.com.
And it worked. And then Netflix was born.
Exactly. Okay,
Absolutely.
fellas.
Well,
Another great session.
that was our
But,
top
but
10.
Ian, you want to, you want to do your thing or?
Yeah, we can just do quickly. So the top 10 that we covered for today, drop shipping, reason for failure, high competition, low profit margins, dependence on suppliers, multi-level marketing. We talked about not having enough people and the best way to become radioactive with all of your friends. Blogging with a B or with a V. Definitely need to have a focus on your audience and consistent content creation. Talked about affiliate marketing. Dave brought up a really good point about nurturing that relationship. It's not something static, it's dynamic. Real estate flipping. Wayne mentioned how the trend is going to be heading towards the Midwest and how you need to, understand the market that you're selling to. Social media influencing. Again, we talked about being consistent with your content and also marketing to the right audience. Freelancing without a niche, right? Having your own area of specialization. You can't be jack of all trade, master of none. Subscription box services. This is very much dependent on seasonality, and also as your customers' preferences change, you need to be able to adjust with it. Ebook publishing, Wayne covered his story, and also how before writing your own ebook was a bad idea, but nowadays it could be a great idea with the right marketing. And last but not the least, handmade craft sales. We talked about how getting your handmade goods to the right people, marketing it. Wayne mentioned his father-in-law that makes guitars out of cigar boxes, and how if your product is flying off the shelf, maybe it's time to increase the prices. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this session.
I want to
Have
say
a lot
one
of
thing real
fun.
quick. I'm sorry,
Yep.
but I want to make sure that nobody uses this as an excuse not to follow their dream, not to do something, not to take action. Okay.
Correct.
I know this at the end. I should have prefaced this with this, but this is by no means a reason that you can say, hey, I'm not going to go and do freelancing, or I'm not going to try and become a TikTok or a social media sensation. No. The through line here is you've got to market to the right market. Every one of the problems that we have listed can be overcome with one simple thing: marketing, being able to find an audience. That's all. That's the only thing that you have to do. Sorry, Ian, but no
No, that's
excuses.
absolutely right. Yeah, we don't want to dissuade you from trying to find your passion, follow your dreams. We just want to provide the guardrails to help you from falling off and not being able to get to your destination. So learn from our mistakes, as David would say. And again, if you want us to talk about your particular business or what you want to do, drop a note in the comments, and you might even be selected to be a guest in one of our episodes. So with that, gents, thank you so much. Another one in the can.
Sweet.
And